Grab your blanket project, your slanket project, your shawls. Are you making socks? Are you making TAT, 12 at a time socks? That's what TAT stands for, right? I've done that before, 12 at a time socks. It's another episode. We have a lot to talk about, and let's go. Also, why don't you take a screenshot? It will last longer. Hi, welcome and welcome back to Be Extra Knitting. This is a knitting podcast by me, Stephanus. If you're new here, Be Extra means we're celebrating everyone's creativity to not be afraid to level up. If you think that there's that project that, requires a skill level that you don't have yet, go for it. You want to make that cardigan by knitting it in a round and steek it later? Do it. I support you, just like what RuPaul says. In this episode, I will be recapping the Rhinebeck of 2025 that happened last weekend. So today is Wednesday after the Rhinebeck that I'm recording this. And then I will also recap my travel to Singapore and Indonesia, because right before Rhinebeck, I went to Singapore and Indonesia for a vacation to see my mom. I will definitely put some chapters on the description of the videos. Let's just start with Rhinebeck. Well, I have to be honest, I did not take a lot of images. So I went there Saturday and Sunday with the main Rhinebeck. So I did not go there Friday or Thursday even. It's not going to be a lot of images, but I will go over the things that I did take. I want to be present as much as I can while I'm at Rhinebeck, while I'm in Rhinebeck, and definitely, I did enjoy my visit. So I will start with the journey to Rhinebeck, which is the Saturday morning. I will have a section where I call it New and Old Knitting Friends. I will go over what I acquire. At the end, I will talk about these two sweaters that you're looking at the moment. So stay tuned until that part, or jump into that part if you don't care about general Rhinebeck. And then for Indonesia, I will go over in general, what I did in Indonesia and Singapore, but most of the time, I will just be talking about the food. Rhinebeck, this year, I returned from my vacation Tuesday of the Rhinebeck week. So Rhinebeck start Wednesday night leading to the Rhinebeck weekend. Or definitely there are things happening on Thursday and Friday. For example, the Woolen Affair. I think there's something Thursday for the Woolen Affair, and then Friday definitely there's that part, and then India Untangle on Friday and Cakapalooza on Friday. So this year I was not able to join the Thursday and Friday events because I just got back from my previous vacation and I have so many things at work that piled up that I have to reply right away before I went to the weekend. So did I miss a lot? Maybe, but I know, but this year I go by myself a lot, but I would go to Rhinebeck with a group of friends every other year. So this is the year that we're not going as a group because my knitting friends they live all over the US. So, it's only every other year that we will have a reunion to go to Rhinebeck. So this year, it's not that year. So I'm only going by myself. So to me, it's fine to just focus on the main part of Rhinebeck, which is Saturday and Sunday. And at the same time, I only live 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on the traffic, from the Rhinebeck. So with that, I just decided to drive directly to the festival, the fairground, basically at Rhinebeck Fairground. And I went there Saturday morning. I started really early. At the same time, I still had a jet lag coming back from Indonesia. so I already woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning anyway that Saturday. So I started driving at 4:30 or 5, and I got there so early. I got to the fairground so early, and people are still, um, what do you call, like setting up. So I had to wait a long time anyway in the parking lot. Sorry, I did not want to go to the Rhinebeck downtown because, I don't know when the parking lot started to to be really busy. So I got section A parking, almost the first lines. Took a nap a little bit. At that time, I only have this one sleeve that is not done, so I worked on it a little bit. And also when it is time to start lining up to get in the fairground, I continue working on the sleeve. So that's the trip to go to run back. And then when I got to the fairground and then checked in or showed the ticket, I right away met a couple of people. One of them is Mike, a Spring Valley Puppet Theater on Instagram. There are a couple other people as I walk into the main fairground. The first thing that I saw as I walk in is this the Rhinebeck 2025 logo at the marketplace. They hang it at the market, outside of the marketplace. And I took some pictures, and right away I just roamed around. And again, Saturday is very busy. A lot of people. To me, it is difficult to shop every Rhinebeck on the Saturday part. So my strategy is Saturday is to first socialize and second to scope the fairground. Basically, go to all the booths, see what people have, but not make decision of what to get. Just have it in my mind and connect it in my mind with what I wanted to make. So Saturday, as you know, I mentioned, the goal is to just roam around, meet people, say hi, give hugs, smile, and just enjoy the vibe, basically. So that's what I did. I went to I think the first part that I went to is the animal barn. There are a lot of cute sheep, and one of the cutest name that I saw was Sassafras, or I don't know if that's how you call it. It could be a farm name. Anyway, it's Sassa, Sassafras, Sassafras. And then she was, in an area, and her roommate in that area is called Annie. So it was Annie and Sassafras. Very sassy. I love them. Um, and then what else did I see? Yeah, and I think by 10:30 or 11, I was already hungry, so I just went to the coffee station next to the barn, the animal barn. So if you've been to Rhinebeck, you know which coffee station it is, and they have a lot of tables. What do you call? Yeah, benches. Yeah, to sit and drink or eat. And I did not plan to get food from the fairground. I know what they have, so I brought some Paris baguette sandwiches, and then some fruits. So basically, having a picnic on the bench and share the bench with other people. And you know what happened when it's a place full of knitters. You just start talking about the knitting, what you're wearing, and all that. So a regular thing. And then at the same time, I had to call my friend to organize the next vacation, which is coming up in actually next week. Wow, that's coming up next week. So anyway, it was just a great Saturday morning. It was beautiful weather. I thought it was gonna be warm, but no, it was. I think it went from, while I was driving, it was 45-degree Fahrenheit, so it was chilly. And this is exactly what I was wearing. This is a cotton lace sweater, because I thought this year, if it's gonna be warm, maybe a lace cotton sweater will be appropriate, which is perfect. I did not get too cold with this. And then at the end of the day, it went up to 70 something Fahrenheit. So it was a 30-degree Fahrenheit swing that morning to the late afternoon. Anyway, yeah, so it was beautiful weather, sunny Saturday. Okay, so definitely I was taking some pictures while I was on the bench. And after I had that break, it was 11:30. Then I made my way to the building section, building A, B, C, D, E, whatever it is called. And at the same time, I follow this designer named Chin Matthews. And Chin, made an Instagram story or post that day, that morning. He will be in the neighborhood fiber company, and he says, "Come over if you're at Rhinebeck." And so I was like, "Yeah, I will stop by," because you know how when you have Instagram acquaintance or knitting buddies, if you only know them from Instagram, if you have a chance to meet them in person, you'll definitely take that chance. Don't you agree? So yeah, so I walked to building E right away, where the neighborhood fiber company is right in the middle of that building, which is really a perfect location. I have to say, they were so busy. I was like, oh my god, I don't want to, I don't want to bother you. So I just waved from afar. A good thing Chin noticed, and then Chin said, well, don't go yet, because he was in the middle of talking with somebody. So I was just like roaming around, just looking at the neighborhood fiber company yarn, and then we chatted a little bit, and then we took some pictures. And then Chin mentioned that he will be at the hill by 1 o'clock, and by that time it was like 12:30, so it's only 30 minutes away. So I said, okay, yeah, maybe I'll find you there, because I wanted to go to the hill also, because the next person or the next people that I want to see is a podcaster people. They call their podcast is called Sibling Energy. They're not siblings. The only sibling about them is their energy. So they are M to the third, and also Inert Wagon on Instagram, and their YouTube is Sibling Energy. So I met them. I said hi, gave them a hug. Finally, I see them in person. I get to know them because M to the third, in one of their episode back in June or July, they highlighted some lesser known podcasters that are LGBTQ, and then I made the list. I did not even know M to the third followed me. So because of that, we have been online acquaintance, like I know them, but finally we met during that on the hill. So I took picture. So I guess this section is new friend and old friend. So M to the third, Inert Wagon, Chin Matthews, they're the new friends in real life that I met, even though we know on Instagram. But at the same time, I have been texting Rolly. I met Rolly and we met a couple years ago during the Bear Weekend or the Bear Week at Provincetown or in Provincetown, Massachusetts. So during one of the pool parties, Rolly and his partner was at the pool where I was. I think they sat or they were next to the lounge chair where I was, and I was wearing this. I don't have it, but I covered it in one of my previous episodes. I was wearing this linen cardigan, which I use it as like a beach cover up or a speedo cover up. Um, and then Rolly made a comment, "Hey, did you make that?" I said, "Yes." And then Rolly, "So you're a knitter?" And I said, "Yeah, do you knit?" So, and Rolly said, "Yeah, I knit and blah blah blah." And at the same time, in the town during the Bear Weekend, there's always this men's retreat, knitting retreat. I mean, I'm not in that group, but I happened to run into them also while I was in Provincetown that year. Actually, I ran into the retreat group, the male knitting retreat group, in one of the coffee shop in P Town. I think it's Joe's Coffee, and there was this bench outside the cafe, and they were sitting there and they're knitting, and I'm like, what? Like, it, I thought I was just dreaming when I ran into them because it was summer. A group of male knitters knitting outside while it at in Provincetown during Bear Week while it is hot outside. I was just like, this doesn't make sense, and I just decided to say hi to them. Actually, there are a couple people that we know each other from online knitting community. It, anyway, that was just bizarre. So I met them first, and then I met Rolly in the um, in the pool. So when I met Rolly in the pool, I told Rolly about those guys. They said that they're meeting every day before the tea dance. So they're meeting, maybe after lunch to like 3 o'clock because tea dance is at 4, and you have to change before you go to the tea dance, right? So anyway, after that, every day we would just run into each other, either at the coffee shop or the pool party, knitting, whatever, P-Town. Anyway, long story short, we made sure that this year we see each other or we meet with each other at Rhinebeck because Rolly and his partner lives in Connecticut and I'm in Jersey. So Rhinebeck is in the middle. So yeah, so it's been a tradition every Rhinebeck. I have to make sure I check with Rolly if Rolly and partner are going to Rhinebeck. So this year they are going to Rhinebeck while I was there. So we decided to meet up at the hill also because Rolly also wanted to meet with one of the Sibling Energy, Tim from Inert Wagon. So, and then we took picture. Yeah, so, and also while on the hill, because I did not plan to meet people or hosting a meetup because I don't know, I don't have a lot of followers. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not too serious about this. But there are a couple of people that, approached me. So one of them is Steph Knits and Travels. She's so sweet. She introduced herself. She said, like, me, like to me. I thought she was looking for other podcasters. So, but Steph, really nice to meet you. Sorry, I was just not expecting it. So maybe I was too quiet, but I definitely gave Steph a hug, and then we took picture. But next time I meet new people, I definitely will be more open and like seem a little bit more welcoming. Maybe I was just too quiet. In actuality, I was just so surprised just to even meet anyone because anyway, I was not expecting it. So, but no, thank you so much for come and say hi. It was It was really nice meeting everyone. I think I think those are people that I met on the hill. Let me see if I have more. Oh, sorry. And Jules. So Juliet Picard Design on Instagram. I also texted Jules the day before or the day off, um, to see if Jules gonna be there, and of course Jules said yes. So I met Jules one summer where I was joining this not knit along, but anyway, it's the Pride Month or Pride podcast. Uh, so we're celebrating the LGBTQ fiber podcasters, and it is hosted by Gary from Gary Knits, Gary Writes, and the Kick-Ass Knitter, and the whole idea is, if you're a podcaster, you can highlight designer makers, yarn dyers in your podcast. So I decided to ask many, designers, dyers, makers in the list that they provide, and Jules is one of the people that replied to me, and we actually had an online interview, and it is one of the previous episodes that I have. So if you want to go back to, I think either 2 years ago. Wait, last year. Sorry, last year. I only have this channel for 2 years now. So check that. I think it's in June last year, and again, since then, every year I have to check with Jules. Right. So the first year that we met in Rhinebeck was last Rhinebeck because I interviewed her last June. So the October of last year, we ran into each other at Saugerties at Perfect Blend Yarn Shop, the Perfect Blend Yarn Shop, and we took pictures. And then this year, Jules again was at Rhinebeck, and Jules was organizing this Boston fiber yarn shop bus trip. So they rent a bus, and then a couple of people go with them in a bus. So yeah, Jules was at the hill. It's amazing every time I see Jules. We took a picture, and this year Jules has this design. Jules called it La Ba Ba. It's a take on La Boo Boo doll, but it's a sheep. It's in a shape of a sheep, and she called it La Ba Ba, and the La Ba Ba outfit matches Jules' outfit. So that Saturday, Jules is wearing this hunter green. Is it hunter or forest green with speckles? A sweater, which is her design that she will publish, and the Lababa also is wearing a similar sweater with the same yarn. So it was so cute. So yeah, so there's Jules, and then yeah, so Jules is a person from the old friends. So there are the new friends that I met and the old knitting friends that I met. So that's pretty much Saturday. And I think after that, after meeting them, it was already 2 o'clock. Again, I was still jet lagged. I wanted to roam around more, but I really felt tired already, and I still have 1.5 to maybe 2 hours because there's always traffic to go back or get out of Rhinebeck, the fairground, to go wherever. So I was preventing that traffic. So I decided to just leave right then. So I think it was 1:30 to 2 o'clock that I left, and I got home before 4 o'clock, and I already so tired. I thought that I will be recording this right away so that I can publish it the same weekend, but I could not. I just had to continue resting, because the next day I woke up at the same time, about 1:30 in the morning to 2 o'clock, and then I decided to finish this sweater. So Saturday, I before we go, no, before we go to Sunday, this sweater, I wore it Saturday. Amazing, perfect option, or perfect, the best idea to wear that Saturday. I did not feel overheated at all. I did not feel too cold. It's just perfect. This is cotton all over lace, so it is open, yet it is heavy enough to cover from mild fall weather or mild cold weather. Right, it's so for any temperature, I mean, for weather between 50 Fahrenheit to 70, this is perfect, because even when it went up to 70, I still had it on. I did not take it off because I still feel amazing. So that was Saturday, and I went over this in 2 episodes ago. So if you want to go back to that episode to see how I made this, go for it. Some of this yarn I got from my trip in Madrid, and yeah. Now, so let's see, the next thing. I think it's getting to the Sunday part now. Now the Sunday, I again woke up at 1:30. I remember because I told myself I do have one sleeve to finish, and this turtleneck, before I can actually wear that, if I want to wear it to go to Rhinebeck on Sunday. So that's what I did. I gave myself about 5 hours to work on the sleeves and that turtleneck of that sweater, so that I can finally wear it. So I woke up, I continue working on the sleeve, and at the end the turtleneck, and then I think I finished around 6 or 7, and then I decided to, okay, I'm not gonna be there exactly when they open, because they start taking people in at 9 o'clock. So I might as well, just take it a little bit easy, not rushing. And also, even when I finish the sleeve, I still have to put everything together. So that's one thing. So, okay, the way I made this, as you can see, the gradient is vertical. And also, if you're new, I have been talking about this for 2 episodes. This is inspired by a painting titled El Descanso by Alfonso Ponce de Leon, that is is a permanent exhibition in Reina Sofia Museum in Madrid. So I went to Madrid for my sister's birthday this year in August, and one of the museums that we went to is Reina Sofia, and there was this majestic painting in the middle of one room, where it's huge, so it takes its own wall for the whole painting. And I had to just took my time to watch this painting, because there's so many things about this painting that really is interesting to me. Even though it is not my style of painting, I think it's on the modern side, but it's just one thing that really took my attention is the sweater that the guy is wearing. I was just watching. I mean, again, watching, not just look, but really, I guess, study this painting. It is striking to me because the sweater that he's wearing is gradient, uh, color, but the gradient is a vertical. So now, if you think about it, if you have a gradient that you work bottom up or top down, the gradient will be horizontal. For example, like this guy right here. So I do have different color here, but this is bottom up, so then the gradient is horizontal. Now, that painting is showing the gradient to be vertical, so that means the construction of the sweater has to be knitted from side to side. So instead of bottom up or top down, I have to knit it side to side. So I started with this side right here, going around, and then changing the color as I go from side to side. And then after I finish with the body, I need to make the sleeves. And also the sleeves is also done side to side because the coloring needs to match this gradient that is vertical. So I've never done that sleeve construction where I knit side to side because most of the time if we make sweater bottom up or top down, you make the sleeves in a round. You can make it in a flat, but what I'm trying to say is you also make the sleeve bottom up or top down, right? So in that case, what you do, if you do top down, initially you decrease, and then flat. But since this is side to side, think about it, you have to work it in flat. It cannot be worked in a round. So if you, let's say, for example, if you take this sleeve and then you open up from this side and then you make it flat, you have to start from either end. So initially you have to do short row to make to get it longer as you go until you get the actual length of the sleeve, and then stay at that length for a couple of inches before you decrease, and then at the end you just stitch them all together. So I was so worried that that will not work at the first time, meaning that I have to do multiple iteration. But with a lot of mathematics, planning, measuring multiple times, making sure the length of my arms from where, because it's a drop shoulder, from where the drop shoulder starts, and also the shape of the sleeve that I want, and also using the gauge that I made. Everything works out. It first try, side to side sleeve worked really well. Now let's go to this a turtleneck. If you think about a top-down sweater, you can, if you work the neck at the end, you can just pick up stitches at the end and just working around, right? Again, as you see here, the coloring is still has to be the same as the body where the gradient is vertical. So I cannot work it in a round. I have to work it flat side to side again and at the end stitch it, make it just like a cowl, but then the gradient is vertical, and then stitch it to the body part. So at the end there is that sewing also. by then it was already, late, it's already like 6:37, and I was like, I could I could work on it when I get back, or I could just do a temporary stitching to connect, the turtleneck to the body. So I just did a really temporary, stitching, thinking that it will not show up, but it does show up. And in fact, I still leave that the temporary stitching there. That's why I'm not wearing it right now, because if I wear it, you will see, like right here, and it will be the focus of the entire episode. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I will redo the sewing of that turtleneck to the body, and it will take only like 30 minutes. But I think for now, it's acceptable, because I just leave it on this mannequin, just to show what it is. So yeah, I did take a video at Rhinebeck on Sunday explaining this. So this is the video. Hi, I'm currently at Rhinebeck, and today is the Sunday, so this is the second day. And I think I'm done shopping, and I just want to take a quick video before I go back. But I just want to show that I finished the El Descanso sweater, which is based on the painting El Descanso by Alfonso Ponce de Leon in Reina Sofia Museum in Madrid. Yeah, here it is. I was working on it since 2 o'clock this morning. I guess I could not sleep, and I was just finishing the second sleeve and then the neck part here. So as you can see, I still need to redo this. This is just a temporary. Here it is in all its glory. I'm loving it. So basically this is Hopemadeyarn fingering in piece base, the new base that I held together with mohair. And there are 3 different colors for the Hopemade yarn. But anyway, I will be able to get better documentation of this. Right now I just want to get out and then go home, but I just want to take some video before I get out of Rhinebeck. Anyway, hope you had a good Rhinebeck, and I'll go over more what I got from Rhinebeck when I get home. Bye. For the acquisition part, this is the only yarn that I bought. So this is from the Good Shepherd farm in Vermont. And I'm going to use this to make a sweater that my friend Keenan designed, as you see here. It is a cabled sweater, and it is using worsted yarn, and I'm going to make a vest actually out of it. And yeah, that's what I got from Rhinebeck. That's pretty much the Rhinebeck experience. And thank you for everyone that I met, new friends and old friends. I really enjoy meeting everyone. And I'm sorry if I did not take pictures with some people that I met, but know this, that I really enjoy meeting in person. And I was happy to be able to be present at that time when I meet people. So definitely, it is very appreciated at the meeting, the social part of Rhinebeck. If you don't care about the next part, which I will talk about my trip to Indonesia, and I try to make it short because it's already about 40 minutes. I don't want to make it too long. If you don't care about that, thank you for coming. I hope you come back. So I'm in between project now. I'm a monogamous, well, I call myself monogamous except for one project where I always keep it alive. But there's a change in my plan, like in general. That project that I always keep is a blanket, where I started when I just started knitting, like in the pandemic time. The reason I keep it alive is I want to know how my knitting has changed throughout the year. However, my sister, who currently is stationed in Dubai, she's managing director of an elevator company, and she's a regional director for many regions so far, and right now she's in Dubai. She just acquired her apartment in Dubai, so we will have a housewarming for her this December as a family reunion. And one of the gifts that I want to give her, which she also requested, is a couch blanket, like a decorative couch. I was like, well, if decorative, not decorative couch, decorative blanket. I said, well, blanket will take a while if I want to start from the beginning. However, I do have that one project that I've been keeping since 2020 that I thought I'm not ever going to finish up, but I think I can just finish it for now and have someone enjoy it, which is my sister. And to me, it's a really, I mean, I would enjoy it if it's not even wool, it's acrylic. But I think it's even perfect because then, she can have it cleaned easily without, the fear of ruining it if had it been knitted using, non-superwash wool or something. So here it is before I go to the next part. So this is a 2x2. You can see this line is this past year, and the previous part, or when I just started knitting, is this year, this part right here. Again, also this is using, like natural color. It's either white, black, or cream. And again, this is acrylic. So it's already, I think, the the width is perfect for a king size bed, but the length at the moment, maybe it's perfect for a couch. So initially I wanted to make a king size, I'll just leave it, as an ongoing project in the background, and then just finalize it when it's an actual king size blanket. But I think I have one more. Oh yeah, it's using Karen Simply Soft. I purchased this when I just started knitting like 4 or 5 years ago, and I have one more of this while I'm finishing up the last white yarn skein. So my plan is to finish the white yarn and then start with the last skein, but half of it, just use half of it and then bind off, because I do need to go back to the beginning here. So I realized even when I just started knitting, I already was being extra because, as I mentioned, this is acrylic except for this guy. So in Michael's, there is this Lion Brand wool acrylic or wool something. And when I started, I especially don't want to use wool because I don't know what I'm doing. But then I did not know Michael has wool, yarn, and I was like, oh, let me try it. But then I don't know how to take, I did not know how to take care of wool, and or maybe the wool yarn that they have. Anyway, you see this? I don't know what happened, if it is eaten by moth. I mean, it has been 5 years. It's been around for 5 years, and did I move? Yeah, I moved multiple times before I have. No, I moved twice. Twice? No, I moved once before I have this house. I started this when I was, living in an apartment in Jersey. So anyway, what I'm thinking, this is not a lot. So today is October. What is today? Anyway, 20 something October. And we're gonna meet up in Dubai December 17. Right. So I have 1 month and a half. If I just work half, finish this skein by finishing up the end here and then redoing this part, I think I can do that, because the holes are only on this part, this one where it is that Michael's wool that I'm not sure what it's about, but everything else is fine. There's no holes on the acrylic side. So what I will do, I will just pick up stitches from the black yarn right here, and then just undo all this part and then knit this much. And this is only 1 2 3 4 5 10 15 20 25 30, maybe 40 rows. And 40 rows, I can finish. I have 1.5 months. So yeah, so I have 1.5 months to finish this up, to be a couch blanket as a gift. Of course, that's not the only housewarming gift that I will give her, but that's going to be the actual handmade gift that I think it will be an amazing addition to the house, because it is requested by her, and I do not have to start from the beginning, because this did take a while to get to this length. So it's perfect as a lap blanket, and it's easy carrying, and it looks nice, right? Yes, you can buy this in department store, but if I have it and I can gift it, why not? Anyway, so that's what I'm working on, and if you have to leave now and skip the Indonesian part, I'll see you next time. Okay, so for the Indonesian part, so this is a lot of, I don't know where to go. Let me just make sure it's not too long-winded. So I started here from JFK. I took a Singapore airline and we stopped in Frankfurt, and that was 8 hours. We stopped at Frankfurt for 3 hours, and then from Frankfurt to Singapore it was 11 hours. So it's 19 hours in total sitting down, plus 3 hours in Frankfurt. And then in Singapore, I got to Singapore early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, but my flight to my hometown in Pekanbaru, Sumatra is not until 6 p.m. So I already got a hotel, like a transit hotel. So Changi Airport is really amazing. It has butterfly atrium, it has rooftop swimming pool, it has 24-hour movie theater. It's crazy. I've been to Changi many times. I don't have to see all that. I just went directly to my hotel, transit hotel, which is in the same terminal. So I got out of the airplane, go right away to that transit hotel, checked in, what do you call it? Sleep like a baby. I woke up in a daze. I was so confused where I was. Have you had one of those where you don't know what day, you don't know what hour, you don't know what continent you were? It's one of those. It was, and also they try to make the transit. If you've been to the transit hotel, you know they try to make it really, just like in any hotel, I guess. You can make it really dark. Basically, if you cover the windows. By the way, you are looking at the airplane that you're going to get in, for your next flight. But then, if you just close the curtain, everything is so dark, and if you just turn off everything, meaning you don't have alarm when you naturally wake up. To me, I was just like, where was I? What day is it? What time is it? What temperature is it? One of those, but that was a good sign because I really had a good couple hours of sleep before I decided to take went to breakfast, and before I went to my last flight, my last leg of flight, which is from Singapore to Pekanbaru, Sumatra, Indonesia. Anyway, for the breakfast, the transit hotel provide a breakfast, of course. Right away, I had the laksa, which is a noodle soup, and I did not. I tried to not eat a lot because my mom already prepared a lot of food back home waiting for me. But on the way to the plane to Indonesia, I had to change terminal from Terminal 3 to Terminal 2. And in Terminal 2, there is this bakery that is only available in Singapore, but they're selling Indonesian street food, like dessert that is from Indonesia. So there's this thing called kue lapis. It's a layered rice cake, rice flour cake with different color, usually rainbow color, and there's a coconut. It's coconut based cake that is sticky. It is steamed. Anyway, it's one of our favorite and one of my mom's favorites, so I took a couple of them. And then there's also another type of layered cake, but it's not rice flour. It is regular flour, and it's not steamed. It's baked. So there are two different lapis, and the baked one, it has alcohol in it. I did not try because I know it's good, but I just want to save, the calories for my mom's cooking. So I just brought this bakery home just for my mom to try. So when I got to the airport back home, my mom already was waiting at the lounge area, and I decided to drive the entire time I was in Indonesia. So we went directly to a cafe to have coffee. It was already late, like 7 o'clock at night. So we just had coffee and then went directly home because we wanted to have dinner at home because my mom cooked a lot. And then the next day I started, following my mom's schedule. She wakes up so early in the morning. And also I forgot, back home, we are so close to a mosque, and the mosque will have every morning the prayers, and you can hear it from anywhere in the village. We live in a village, so I mean, if you know, it's like Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha, la ilaha, something like that. That's my Arabic, by the way. And they start at 4 o'clock. They start with the recording of prayers, and then they start with the Allahu Akbar, at 4:30. So by 4:35, I always am wide awake, which is good because at that time I also still have jet lag from here. So my mom would go walk in the morning at 5:45 because 5 until 5:30 it's still dark outside, and it's good that she's waiting for the sun at least a little bit to show up, because if not she would fall, uh, yeah, it's just gonna be a mess. And I agree with her. Let's wait a little bit until there's light, even though the sun is not uh, has not risen yet. So every day at 5:45 we would leave the house, walk for 1 hour around the town, and where I spent my childhood. So where I spent my childhood, it's a housing for the Chevron company. So my father used to work there before he passed away. And Chevron in Indonesia, they provide housing, not just housing, but also what do you call education. So there is the private schools all the way from kindergarten to high school, run by Chevron, where the housing is. So we call it the room. So Rumbai is the town, and then camp, it's like the area where the housing is. So we walk to our old house where we grew up, and our house was still there. But recently, about 5 years ago, the contract of Chevron in Indonesia was done, is finished. So Chevron had to return the company or all the facilities to the national oil company, which is called Pertamina. So it is not anymore Chevron. It is now run by the national oil company, but they still have the same facility. Basically, they did not tear down all our childhood places. Like our house, our old house are still there, even though it is so not kept anymore. I will put some pictures. It is always, every time I go home, I have to see that little house, because there's so many memories there. I still remember that little garage right by the house where my I have not talked about my father a lot. I guess I don't like to talk about him, because it will bring back memory. He already passed away, but he is the definition of Renaissance man. He has a lot of interests. Uh, so there's so many things that he taught me, and he likes to. I guess, I like crafting, but he has a lot of artistic side also. I remember he taught me how to paint without even being a painter. He was not a painter, but he figured out this method where you make grids on a surface that you would like to paint something, and then you make grids on the thing that you want to paint. So let's say you want to paint that painting in the background right there on another canvas. So what he would do, he would make grids, little grids, and then the idea here is to focus on one grid and then just replicate that one grid at a time. So once you replicate all the grids, you will finally have the full image. It's just one thing that he did, that he just taught me how to think, I guess. And again, the way he's thinking is just but anyway, there's so many memories in there. Every time I pass by the house, I realize the house to my elementary school, it's not too far. We can walk maybe 20 minutes leisurely, but right, 20 minutes. Meaning that, and also the housing they provide, the Chevron company, they provide buses to the children to pick up from everyone's house every morning to go to the school. And also it's a huge housing area, meaning that there are houses that are closer to the school, there are houses that are farther from the school. Our houses, or the area where our house is, it's, as I mentioned, it's 20-minute walk to the school. So I told my mom, you know, we always walk to the school. Maybe, so I told my mom, I guess even back then, we already thought that, the house is not too far from school. And then my mom reminded me, look, the reason you and your sister, at that time, it was me and my older sister, because my younger sister were 5 years apart. Initially, it was just me and my sister. The reason why you and your sister walk to school every day is not because it's 20 minutes away walking, but it's because you were being you. And I was like, what do you mean? I forgot that when we lived in that house, we just moved from Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, because my father got assigned to work in Jakarta for 2 years, and I was in kindergarten then. While I was in Jakarta, so Jakarta is in Java, and we are from Sumatra. There are different dialects being spoken and accents. As a kid that was extra, I decided to pick up the Jakartan accent. And when we moved back to Sumatra, I decided to keep the Jakartan accent. So I was talking with the Jakartan accent when we moved back to Sumatra. And I was, let's say, when we moved back, I was first grader in the bus. Talk with an accent, being himself. And not just that, I decided to always sing this song by a Indonesian jazz singer at that time. So if you're Indonesian, you know Vina Panduwinata. And one of the song that was big at that time, it's called Di Dadaku, which is translated to be in my chest. So it will go something, Di Dadaku. Oh, you have to do the shoulder. Di Dadaku, ada wajahmu. Yeah. First grader, jazz song, shoulder. So it's translated, in my chest, there's your face. So every time we go to the bus, the more senior kids will ask me right away, sing the song. And I go with my sister. My sister is 1 year older, and she was like, this has to be stopped. The next time, my sister, she gathered all our friends from the same area. She said, we're walking. And me, as a little kid, I'm like, oh yes, we're walking. And I'm pretty sure I was still singing the whole time we were walking to school. But I did not know the reason why we walked. I just accepted it as a fact that, oh yeah, we walked to school. And my mom was like, no, initially you took the bus to school, but you were singing and have this accent. So I embarrassed my older sister so much when I was first grade. I was in the first grade by using a Jakartan accent and singing jazz about a chest and a face. I'm like, and I told my mom, wow, yeah, it was a revelation. I just don't know how I forgot about that. I mean, I think my mom told me a couple of times after we grew up. It's just every time I was like, no, we walked to school. Anyway, and after we walk in the morning, my mom would would stop by this market, which is right next to our house. They sell veggies, fresh veggie every day. They get it from the main market and they bring it to the local area. So we got the veggies for that day, some oranges that we would squeeze for our breakfast, and then anything that we would cook for lunch that day. So that's one of my favorite things to also do, because literally it's in the corner after we got back from walking. Before we go back to our house, the market is right there. So we picked up, so there's a lot of uh, uh, things that we cook. One of them is cassava leaf soup. So it's basically cassava that you smashed, and then you use onion, garlic, galanga, some peppers, and then there's this thing called Sumatran eggplant. It it is like green, like peas shape. It's not like eggplant shape. It's round, but it's small. But that gives a really nice flavor to the soup when you crush it with the leaves. That's one of my. And then there's coconut milk that you cook it with coconut milk as the soup part. So that's one of my favorite dish, in a Sumatran dish. It's from North Sumatra, where my mom is from, but we live in middle part of Sumatra, so it's not well known in the middle part of Sumatra. Only if you or your parents are from the North Sumatra, you make this in your house. So that's one thing that we made. And then there's the, of course, beef rendang. If you just Google beef rendang, you will know. And what else? Yeah. Um, and then every day we would wake up in the morning and uh, walk, and then the sunrise is beautiful. And also we would go to the main market some mornings, where I picked up Sumatran coffee beans, and also beautiful fruits, tropical fruit that I cannot, or it's so expensive here. Even if I can get here in the US, the fruits, they don't taste the same, so it's really nice. And then, yeah, so I spent a couple of days in Sumatra, went to see my dad's graveyard. And in the meantime, I work on this if I have the time. If I took a nap in the middle of the day before we do the next activity. But I did not get a lot knitting when I was in Indonesia, because it was humid back home. I don't want to touch wool too much. And yeah, um, a couple of things before I wrap it up. Um, yeah, I think this will be the last thing that I will talk about, because it's too much. Um, we went to Singapore also, but you can just follow my Instagram for what we did in Singapore, or the food. But I will just go over this one thing, and then that will be this episode. So in Sumatra, I decided to pick up fabric. I have been meaning to make shirts using the batik fabric that is originated from Sumatra. So batik is an Indonesian fabric. Usually it has a lot of it's cotton with a lot of motifs on it. It could be hand dyed motifs or printed. Of course, the hand dyed, batik is so expensive. So the one that I got is a printed batik, but they're so already beautiful. And I want to learn how to make a shirt out of them. So last year when I went back, I also picked up some fabric, batik fabric, but I haven't done anything. But now I have two different batik because from last year and this year. And also when I went to Madrid, I picked up jeans, like Spanish jeans. So I have jeans to make pants and two batik fabric to make two shirts. So I'll show you. So the first one that I have, sorry for the crinkling. Is it? Oh yeah, you can see it. I'm not going to take it out. This is the fabric that I got this year. It's a beautiful black background with brown and white motif. I think this is a motif from Java, not from Sumatra. Doesn't matter. I bought enough to make long sleeve shirt, even if I want a long sleeve shirt, but I honestly just want a short sleeve so I can wear it when it's summer here. And this is the one that I got from last year, and this is definitely a Sumatran motif. Yeah, so this is red background with brown and blue motif. Again, that's enough to make long sleeve, but I think I'm just going to make a short sleeve. Now, I don't know which pattern. So I have made garments before, but I wanna follow a pattern for those shirts, just because those are really nice batik fabric, and I want to do it correctly. And this is the jeans fabric that I got from Madrid. This is, yeah, I think it's only two-way stretch, but I like it. And again, I have enough to make, I want to make it a little bit baggy, but not, everyone knows this trend, right? The balloon pants. I don't think, it's a trend, Do I want to follow the trend? I don't know. I don't think it's good for my body, because the balloon effect, you need to have a smaller waist, and then the ballooning will be exaggerated if you have a smaller waist to begin with. So I don't think it will look good to me on me. So I think I will just make a little bit baggy legs. Yeah, so like loose fitting jeans, but will it look good on me? I don't know. Maybe it's just gonna be like a drawstring type of pants. So make it baggy, not too fitting, and not a lot of, like a hardware, like actual jeans. So that's what I'm thinking, kind of like drawstring type of pants. And then if I make a summer shirt style for this fabric, I think it's going to be so nice for a warmer weather. So, this is fall right now, and I still have winter before the next, and spring before the next summer. So I have time to learn how to make the shirt. Maybe I will use muslin or whatever fabric initially. If I find a pattern, I will make it on a practice material and also to use it as a cutout, what do you call, pattern, so that if it works with the muslin, I will use it to pattern my the actual batik fabric. So anyway, so I'll get a muslin or yeah, I think I'll do that and just do it correctly, step by step. I never, yeah, I never took any sewing classes, but again, just like knitting, YouTube, again, one of the reason why I have this channel is to give back to the community, knitting community, because I started knitting by finding Arna and Carlos during pandemic, where they have beautiful series of knitting tutorial that they share their wealth of knowledge on how to make sweater from the beginning, how to stitch a sweater. So I am pretty sure I can just use the YouTube University to pick up knitting skill. And I know pattern companies like Simplicity, because I used Simplicity before to make a jacket. I actually already made a jacket, like a formal jacket using a Simplicity pattern. And the Simplicity pattern, they provide YouTube videos. So they show you step by step. So I'm sure there are YouTube videos out there that guide you on how to make a shirt. Anyway, I think that's all for now. Thank you again for watching this episode. The next time I will record, I will show you the progress of this blanket, which is going to be the gift, the housewarming gift for my sister. Hopefully I'm getting closer to finishing it. I think I will. Even if not, by December, definitely I will be done with it. So yeah, come back next time. We will talk about the blanket. All right, until then, be extra, be brave in your knitting, fiber, crafting, or fiber arts. Level up, take that project that you think is outside of your skill level, because that's the only way we learn. Not the only way, the best. I think the best way to learn is to make mistakes. Go for it. Anyway, until then, bye.